Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going? Oh yeah, I like that response. Here we go. Whew. Here we go. Whew. So, I guess let's go ahead and go over the agenda for today. Today, what I want to focus on is, one, having us create an idea, and two, I'm going to go through going through the scripting process, which, how do you pronounce her name, by the way? Well, anyways, let's go ahead and proceed forward. Let's go ahead and rock and roll this. The program I will be using to kind of come up with ideas with ya, to show you how I work with creating ideas, is a program called Storyboard, which might as well show you the website you can get that from. This here is the website I drew this from, and it helps you, well, it's mostly meant for storyboarding. Groovy. I can go ahead and, it's meant for storyboarding, but I tend to use it for other stuff besides storyboarding, while I use my main program for my actual storyboarding itself. Although I am trying to transition into this program slowly. With that stated, for now, I just use it as an idea starter. I'll go ahead and drop that URL into the description down here for you to look into as you see fit. There you go. Now, here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and create from its own story. I'll create a board, click from blank, and, you know, just, this is nothing too fancy, just one by one. Let's call it this. Okay, got it. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using Storyboarder program as a way to generate ideas, since I want to go from the beginning to the end. And what I'm going to do with this section here is what I'm planning on doing. I'll be giving you a little task one at a time, and I'll be grabbing it from you. Is that groovy? Okay, I'll do it on there. Here we go. Oh yeah. Whew. There we are. Okay, got it. Shall be done. So here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and let's start coming up with some ideas. Let's create a little circle. So one of the things I've been trying to do a lot more often is kind of do a story map to more or less think about what I'm doing. Not a story map, mind mapping, that's the word, mind mapping. So let's go and do something. So something I've always wanted to try with animation a little bit more is see if I can really push myself with action. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down. Action. So What ways can we take action, I guess, in this case? Well, some ways I could think of taking the action is, well, typical fighting style, which we can break down even further. Yes, that is correct. Yes, from character, in this case, I would think. Action from character. I don't know, Yeah, typically I try. Now that I think about it, I typically come up with the idea and just kind of use this to flesh it out a little bit more. Let's restart this. I'm going to go with an idea I already have. Oh, yeah. Walking, moving hands. Yeah, that sort of thing would be groovy. But let's go with an idea I already have. So, I've had this idea for a while that I wanted to try. And I have the idea based on spirit weapons. As a theme. It's kind of the theme I want to go over with this script. Now, I'm going to take that and turn it into a 1-minute film. That's going to be an interesting thing. So let's break that down, that vague idea. Yep. Yeah, it's an idea I had for a while. I really have wanted to see how I can take that one. I'm a little scared about this, but hey, since it's only 1 minute, it's not going to hurt anything. So, one of the things I really want to do with this is, add the fighting thing to it. I really want to add that. So, what idea can we do within 1 minute to make that work? Oh, by the way, you can start doing this on your own as well with a piece of paper. In fact, I encourage you because I really want to see what you come up with. So, one thing we can do within this 1 minute is have two people fighting with two different, very, very distinct personalities. Let's see, what other way can we do this? We can also do it a fight against self. Like, he has his own demon that he's having to fight against. Yeah, a demon fight. That would be interesting. Might be a little bit big for a 1 minute section, but you know what? That's the nice thing about challenging yourself as a writer. You give yourself constraint that you smash against, and you try to prove yourself wrong that it's too complicated of an idea. You prove yourself wrong, no, it's not complicated of an idea, you can do it. And I like it when people can do that. I don't completely like it when people say it has to be this length no matter what. When they don't have the idea quite down. If they've done the full draft of the idea and they know, like, there's no way it can be any shorter, makes sense. But I find that most stories can be condensed down. But that's a RTeaH ramble. Oh yeah, that's a RTeaH ramble. Okay. Okay. Sorry about the. Sorry about that noise. My little baby boy is kind of struggling to go to sleep right now. Hey, no worries. Anyways. Awesome. Thanks, mate. Okay. And I really want to think about another way to take this. I don't know, what way would you take it with this next little box, little window here? No problema, mate. I'm wanting to see how well we can get this to work because I've been really frustrated with the way a lot of online courses teach their kids, and I'm like, well, not even kids, just students in general. And I've ooh, yeah, a fight against his friend. Sure, I like that. Yeah, I really want to see a way to teach people. And I won't say this idea is original because I actually got this from a guy named Curtis Jones, who's an audio recordist. He found a very similar problem going on where a lot of classes would teach audio but not show how to handle audio properly. So I won't say this is a completely original idea, but, worth a shot here in the animation field. Okay. So I think we're pretty good here. Let's see where else we can take spirit. The idea is spirit. And I want to make it clear. My goal with this. Oh yeah, I agree. I will say I want to do 3 major ideas and have 3 branching ideas off that before we're done here. That way I have something to select from. Spirit. Spirit in this case could be passion. Passion. I'll take. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. This is one of the stages. Normally, what I actually would do is one of the things I used to do a lot is I would open a notepad, listen to some music for 30 minutes, and just start putting whatever idea in my head down, like, oh, what's a good one I can think of off the top of my head? I basically just come up with random titles for films just to see what would keep. Just to see what would be a good punchline and all that sort of jazz. Then, after I would do that, I would come up with these ideas I take afterwards, and I try to develop them with a character, a conflict, and an objective, followed by the ending, specified in the vaguest way possible. That way, you're intrigued by the ending yourself. Because you know, you're an audience member on this journey. Yep. Yeah, I find that one of the things I struggled with for the longest time was coming up with ideas, and I'm still struggling, as you can see, but it has become a lot easier just to flap some ideas down on the board and go like, yeah, we got something going. I'll put it down. I would say we have about 8 more minutes to put down some ideas, so let's start getting that rolling. And then I'll proceed to showing you how to develop the idea the rest of the way once you have this all done. And then let's start a pitch meeting. Okay. Saving part. That one just more combining words together right now. I'm not actually thinking about image. So that might be the weakest part of this whole thing. So yeah, that's kind of one of those things I should specify is that I find it's better if the word placement doesn't create an image in your head and doesn't go like, ooh, how can that idea develop further? Well, probably not anything else. But the way I'm thinking about saving right now, looking at this, well, saving self, you know, your protagonist has depression, and no, that's not. And while I don't feel comfortable with this methodology because I know it doesn't completely work, you know, your protagonist has depression, so he has to find a way, and I think I'm combining this kind of with the demon fight itself. He has to find a way to kind of resolve that a little bit in some way or another. That's kind of what I'm thinking with that one. Saving your friend, well, you know, your friend's got. Oh, okay. So what I do with this, I'm going to go ahead and say we want to take 3 of these ideas here. And let's say gonna take that demon fighting thing. Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna take a... Let's see. I'm just gonna go into the message here and kind of type down the ideas. I'm like, let's develop those further. Basically, select 3 ideas from your list, from your little mind map here, and we're gonna develop those a little further. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do those 3 ideas just to build it from there. So with my Word document, I'm gonna try taking these ideas and trying to flesh them out into a log line. That's what I do next, just because if you don't have a log line, your script is gonna be kind of a little haywire. But writing log lines are not that difficult. So I'm gonna call our main character Jim. Okay. So we got our main character here. We got what his goal is to wake up, and we got his obstacle. And while it's not listed here, there's an implied tension of... Oh, actually, what? So, if Jim loses, what happens if he loses a fight against his demon? I feel like it can be implied at that point. Or if he wins, same thing. So I'm going to leave that part out of it. Now let's start with Cook. We'll call him Yo Man. I'm not going to go any further with that one. Hey, what are you putting? So I'm just going to quickly put down what are the 4 components that you need at anything. Your main character, goal, obstacle, and theoretical ending. Oh wait, why am I doing that? So yeah, that project I really want to take it off the ground, man. I I'll put it this way. If I think Character Animator would have helped me out with that project. So I think I now need to really strive to learn that program like nuts. I've already been playing with it a little bit, and I already love what I'm seeing. So I'm really I'm going to enjoy seeing what I can get out of that. Anyway, I'll teach you how to use that later on. Okay. Okay, here we go. So now we have all this. I think it's time that we do a pitch meeting. Let's go ahead and start seeing some ideas. And I think in this case, we'll treat each other kind of like a third-party selector. Does that sound groovy? Groovy. So, I'm going to ask you, which one of us should be first? Amina 4? Um. Oh no, not this here. No, I'm talking about log lines right now. Like, let's go ahead and select. Let's present our log lines down and see which one of them we pick. Okay, here we go. Yeah, which one do you which one of these do you think I should go with? Oh, crap. Well, yeah. Um, yeah, storylines can be, how do I put this? The length of the storyline doesn't matter as much as long as you have a complete storyline in. The only one I feel very quite weak about is the cat. Save the cat. Sorry about that. Save the cat moment, and that the only reason why I did that was just because story pun. Good old book, save the cat. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and ask. Yeah. Um, really, really far fetched for you. Okay, so right, it kind of was a leap a little bit. So yeah, this kind of was a little bit of a leap. So, um, oh man, this would be so much easier. Um, so kind of give me what your first off, give me what your what three 2-word segments you came up with your mind map. Passion fight. Okay, I can't. I okay, I'm gonna take that back. Sorry, man. Okay. Although now I just want to ask, is it yaoi or is it straight? Oh, um, now that I think about it, I shouldn't say any further because, maybe it's not YouTube appropriate for what I just said. Ah, who am I kidding? I'll go and say it. Is it yaoi or is it, straight? Oh yeah. Awesome. Anyways, okay. Okay, so let's go ahead. Oh man, that's a whole separate genre on its own, of course. So, let's take that idea. A friend passion fight. I would say what I'm thinking of when I hear those words is kind of the Naruto versus Sasuke fight at the very end of Naruto, if you're familiar with that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I agree. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking of that fight, and since I know that you're a creative individual, I know you have your OCs and all that. So I actually would wonder how I would wonder on that one. Um, so we're gonna do this. You have your main character. What do you want to name him? And I'm just gonna pull this up again just to kind of work it out with you. Okay. So Rex. Okay, we have Rex, who is fighting. Who's fighting? Okay. Who's fighting? Um, what should we name the other character? Good. I think I'm gonna hand you a character name, Yo Man. I'll hand you your own Yo Man. Who's fighting Yo Man? Now, let's think this through. What's the motivation for this fight going on? Anger. Okay, anger toward. So, what is Rex angry about? Hmm. So, like, Yo-Man stole Rex's girl? Hmm. So Rex is having to fight with a disadvantage. Nice. I like that. So he has to think a little bit more ahead on defeating Yo-Man, who stole his powers. Okay. So, what would he get his powers back? Would Rex get his powers back? Hmm. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. And okay. Hmm. I'm going to say try making the secret thing more visual. So have Rex entrust an object to him instead. That way, that way you don't have to use verbs. You can actually use something visual on the screen. Okay, got it. Okay, kind of like a family heirloom. I can take that. Hmm. So he broke the friendship with the symbol or the stone. I can dig that. So here's the question: which one of those two do you think is gonna win? Are we gonna have an American ending or a French ending? Sorry about that. Okay, American style. I can dig that. Okay. So, so as a complete sentence, ooh, nice. So it'll be one of those. Ooh, yeah. I can dig that. So let's quickly condense that all down into a log line then. Do you want to write this one down or do you want me? Okay, let's get this done then. Yes, that is correct. We are. And it also, there have been several times when I've written screenplays where having the long line right next to me goes like, okay, this will not work. Thank you. Let's continue. There's so many times where you accidentally forget and you're like, okay, let's backtrack. Let's not go over our heads. Let's get back in. It really does help a lot, in my opinion. Oh, I think I'm. Hmm. So while you're articulating your log line, I kind of want to ask if I should go with the gym idea or the yo man idea. I'm not even going to bother with the cat idea. That I don't like one bit. I just got some JoJo vibes from that. I dig it. Let's dig it. Let's do it. Okay. So I think for the purposes of this class, I'm going to go with the yeoman has to face his harshest critic, his long estranged father. There we go. There we go. So I'm gonna go ahead. The program I've been using like for years now on end is a program called Fade In, which it's free when you write something underneath 10 pages. And even if you write over 10 pages, it just kind of bugs you to buy the actual software, so it's not even that bad. So yeah, I'll go ahead and drop that into the description and we'll start working on it. Man, Ryan. Yep. These are the films that were used to make it, so yeah, here we go. I'll go ahead and do this. So, I want to ask, how much experience do you have with screenwriting? Okay, well that's good to know. Well, in that case then, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of block out how to quite describe it then. So, with a screenplay format, when you have it properly formatted, you should have one page equal 1 minute. I'll show you an example of one of my own screenplays just to give you a little idea how it looks once you have everything done. So, first off, now that I think about it, I should probably publish this screenplay here in a PDF format into this and do a direct link. That way you can actually study this screenplay and see little formatting things to think about. So the first thing to point out is that all scenes begin with establishing if the shot is interior or exterior, where it's located, and stuff like that. Why did I... Oh, well, whatever. Okay, here we go. Whew. So, I think I'm just going to read through this just to give you an idea and kind of explain how things work within the screenplay. Where we have all this, then we have our description, which is formatted in its own way. Everything is written in present tense. That's one of those things that kind of takes a while to get used to reading or writing, but as soon as you get used to it, you will not want to come back, because I'll put it this way, this has been one of the most accurate ways to understand how long your screenplay is going to be. Like my animated film, it's going to be, well, let's reach all the way to the bottom. It's going to be 10 minutes long. That really does help. So yeah, I think it's very helpful that way. Let's head off to the actual screenplay itself. And unlike most things, I would say definitely download the software. Yep, that is correct. There are some slight... It's not exactly one-to-one, sadly. As much as everyone has tried to get it to one-to-one, it's not ever going to be accurate, despite everyone's best efforts. But it's so accurate that film studios literally budget their time. They really budget everything based on the screenplay. So I think that because their studios are willing to risk their financial backing on it, should tell you how accurate it is. Okay. Here we go. So there's a few concepts I want to quickly go over before I proceed, now that I think about it. And let's do a new board. So, something I learned from a documentary filmmaker is how to come up with a narrative beat, which usually is like one paragraph of a text, or sometimes it can be just one line of a text as well, within the purposes of screenwriting. And he calls this the engine of a narrative beat. Yeah, I will apologize, by the way, if this is pretty theoretical, but I feel like theory, when it's practical, I feel like it is one of those things that I like to keep an eye on, just because it works. So, you have you have the build-up of the action itself, when the engine is starting to rise up. Which in this case would be in a sentence format. Ooh, groovy. Thank ya. Yeah. I will tell you point blank that this is an art field, so all theory can be thrown out the window if your story justifies it. Which, probably that's the only thing that is not theory at all, because that's just law, is that story is king, and story will be the only excuse that can ever be given at any given time for why you don't do something. I don't agree with the idea that only masters can ignore the rules, but I do feel like masters tend to be the ones who know how to break the rules. With that said, I'm not going to go over that whole thing. So we got the build-up of the action, which in this case, for the purposes of a piece of text, it would be like a triggering moment. Like, let's say in the case of the screenplay I'm about to write, we can have the narrative beat, and this each narrative beat builds on one another. We can have the son take the dish of food he's just freshly prepared, which we can have a narrative beat for that too, but we'll go over that one. And the build-up would be him taking it over to his father. You know, that builds up tension. The next thing is the riser. Where in this case, I would say what it would mean for the purposes of my little story is I think the way I'm going to build a riser within the script with that little narrative beat is the father tapping his finger, kind of making you as an audience member aware that, one, the relationship is strained, and two, you know, it shows a little bit of disdain already there. So I think that will help build this little narrative beat. And then what I like to call the max action, I guess I'll call it in this case. Max point. Which, by the way, if any card was designed this way at all, you're probably going to be dead, but that's the point. Well, not really, but it still works. In the case of the max action, I think that's when the father receives the plate and is eating the food, in this case. Like he's already putting the food in his mouth. And the release, well, that's where I'm going to debate with this one. The beat that releases tension for the singular moment, but builds tension for the next moment. In this case, I have two things. One, this narrative beat could be the ending of my screenplay, where, the father likes it. That would be good. But too easy. And one of the things to remember with a screenplay is if something can go wrong, let it go wrong. So instead of having the father like the food, he spits it out and he spits out the food, taps his mouth, and tips over the plate, and just stares at his son. I think that will be the way how I'd like to release it so that I can continue the story. Now, how to build upon that's going to be a trick. But, yeah, that little segment works in that way. Yeah. So let's go ahead and quickly write that down, just to begin. So, interior kitchen. I'm just going to write that down since that's going to be quickly. Interior kitchen. And if you're doing an exterior shot, you would need to specify if this was daytime or nighttime. But in the case of interior shots, no need to specify at all. It doesn't matter. Unless you have a lot of windows in your theoretical shot. And when that happens, I like to still specify anyways, to a certain extent. I'll deal with you in a moment. So, I'm just going to go to that little narrative beat. We'll go to the first narrative beat to try that again. Just to kind of show an example. Interior kitchen. We'll show... Okay. So, something that while I don't agree with... There's this philosophy in story script writing called the 8 principles... The 8 plot points of storytelling. That's what it's called, yeah. I don't completely like using that for short screenplays. Other than, I like to think about what my opening and what my closing image are going to be. Since your opening image should describe what the film's all about. So, I think a way to make this interesting is having a picture of oh, by the way, the first time you ever mention someone's physical name, you always want to make sure it's all capitalized within that part. The reason why I'm not doing it with Yo Man is this is not where he's going to be seen at. This is just me describing relationship, which technically you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to make sure everything is visual on the screen. I don't always agree with that, but it does work. But, well, how do I put this? I feel like when you're writing a screenplay, you can put this more flavor text in and then remove it afterwards when you're doing your second pass through. So I don't mind putting it in and just removing it later. gonna say there's windows with this, so let's do that. Boom. Fine, I'll do this. Okay, let's call it. Okay, there we go. Okay, walks through the shop. Let's see. Thinking as the enemy of screenwriting. Gosh. Okay. There's a picture of McDude, the old man's father, sitting on a kitchen counter. The old man standing by the stove of his little shop, pacing as to build up his confidence. So in the case of screenwriting, once you get to your second pass, most likely what's going to happen is I'd have to delete this little section here, since there's nothing this here visually shows. But for the purposes of the screenplay, I'm going to leave it in because honestly, it's a-okay. It's a-okay to leave things like that in. So McDude walks through the shop doors. Okay. And since this is something I want to find out, let's go ahead and see what's considered a pretty difficult item to cook. Oh gosh, that does sound difficult. And that'll make a nice good mess too. Yeah, that sounds awesome. That sounds like a really awesome dish to do. Oh yes, this is the end of a little narrative beat there. So when you're done with the narrative beat, your goal should be to start a new paragraph. That way, you're keeping your little sections separated as much as possible. This also helps out with the timing of the script. Okay, let's see. How much of the script have I gotten done? So if you want to know... Oh, sorry about that. If you want to know how much you've gotten done, you can look over here on the right side, and it says 2/8 of a page. Everything is measured in eighths of a page, so that helps you out with knowing where you are within your screenplay. The reason why that matters is you want to theoretically divide your screenplay into thirds, representing Act 1, building your characters and who they are, which is right here. I mean, father, son. Although I don't think the father-son relationship is quite as... Now that I think about it, it's not quite as clear, but then again, I can find some character design tricks with that, so I'm not too worried. And yeah. And then Act 2 is when you start going into the actual conflict itself, followed by Act 3, which is all about resolution. And while theoretically you should divide that, like it's 2/8 of a page for Act 1, 4/8 for Act 2, and 2/8 again for Act 3. That's how you should divide it. Act 2 should be theoretically twice the size of the other two, but that's neither here nor there. Which, yeah. Makes sense? Okay. So I'm going to ask, have you, do you have the program on your computer, or do you want to try using like a Word document or something like that? Okay, groovy. Groovy, groovy. So, okay. Okay, okay. So, I think at this point, it is best to leave ourselves onto our own narrative devices. And I would like to schedule another live stream with you pretty much as soon as possible, if that's possible. But yeah. Yep, yep. Okay. When's the next date you're available for? Groovy. Thank ya. Okay. So let's go ahead and open up the calendar here. So you said that I like to schedule my sleep schedule around the needs of basically you, my clients. So I do mornings and nights. Technically, nights I'm much more methodical and ready to work, but I can do anytime since I already know this stuff. Okay. So tomorrow night I will be working from 5 to 5, 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. Oh yeah, I would agree. Um, hmm, how to do that one? 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. So I'm just gonna do a double check with you. Right now it's midnight for you. Is that correct? Okay. Awesome. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. So morning. Let's see. So Friday. I'm gonna say let's do Saturday morning. Um, the earliest you wake up, you said was right around 7 o'clock. Is that correct? Your time? Actually, doesn't give you much sleep at all. Wow. Okay, man, man, you're a trooper, man. So then let's say Okay, 8 o'clock your time would be 6 o'clock my time then. Oh yeah. So, let's see. Would you be cool doing 8 o'clock Saturday? Oh yeah, groovy. So 8 o'clock Saturday, and the agenda for this meeting will not... Yep. AM Saturday, Maryland time. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set up a scheduled live stream for that time. And the agenda for that live stream will be me just taking your script, reading out loud, and giving you my thoughts. That will be the agenda for that meeting. If we have time. Ooh. I would like to say, if we have time, I would like to go into character designing at least, or even storyboarding, but I have a feeling that by the time we're done, I think it won't be worth it. I think it'll be... Yeah, I think it'll be better, because I only want this to be 1 hour long for this Saturday morning thing. So let's... Yeah, my only goal will be to read the screenplay, and then maybe what I want to do is let's design sketches of our characters. Or I think I'm going to go over the principle of how to create your drawing style for your particular project. Yeah, that's how I'm going to do it. Principles of drawing style and script review. Sounds good? Awesome. Then all I can say is go piece of the beat till the beat don't stop. Book recommendations or videos? Oh gosh. I actually have to agree. Ooh, book recommendations or videos? Sadly for the videos, I don't have any recommendations anymore. I used to, but I don't. As for the books, well, let's see. Despite being a sorry about that. Despite being a semi-pricey book, and I always recommend finding the cheapest way to read this book, I would say this book right here has helped me out a lot. This book here, in terms of teaching you how to think narratively, has helped me out a lot, and it's the book that, even though it teaches directing in general, it's mostly focused on documentary teaching. It's technically a textbook, but it's worth reading, I feel like, in my opinion. The next book I also recommend past this point, if you want to start thinking of compositions and how line work and stuff like that works. What's the name of the book? Is that the name of the book? No, that's not it. Hey, there's the book I was referencing. Yay! Um, it's a great book in terms of learning how to write screenplays, but I definitely don't recommend it, surprisingly, because I find that it's too formulaic, and I feel like formulaic books are not worth it. Following that, I would say, strangely enough, a book that helped me out a lot is this book right here. Which, yeah, this book right here helped me to look at camera shots and start picturing how to implement them into my storytelling. Since shot ideas definitely makes one storyteller better than another. Although it looks like they have no examples really to show in this book. But yeah, I find that these master books are phenomenal. Master shot books are phenomenal on getting you ideas on how to get some really creative compositions. I definitely would recommend that, but overall, I would say aim for this book right here. And if for right now, that's what I recommend for this session. As for any books beyond this point, I won't overload you any further because my opinion is that I think that you're going to be on a track that's going to be very fun, but it's going to have a lot more information come your way. Anyways, I'm kind of out of curiosity, do you have any videos on your channel? Are you cool with me looking them up? Awesome. Well, in that case then, let's go ahead and embarrass you a little bit. Actually, since
Alright, Manoj, this is the practice. I don't know, it's not a practice, it's like a final thing. But anyway, let's see. That's the music from Run from.
Hmm. Wait, why am I typing this again? Oh boy, well, okay. So I definitely dig that. Um, I personally wish that I saw more people try web series out because, from my experience, when I did it on other sites besides YouTube, I grew a very organic audience that, they loved your content. And surprisingly, even if you diverge from your content, as long as it's related in some way or another to your series, people, your audience will like it. Like if you decide to make another cartoon that's not related to your current idea, they'll still like it as long as it's a cartoon that has your style that utilizes a lot of things. So I dig your idea. I dig it. Yeah. By the way, that video is pretty nice and snappy, so I'll dig it. Huh. Hmm. You have some really good music takes, man. Hey, I want to know. Manoj. Manoj? Is that how to pronounce it?
No, you hang up. All right. Let's hang up on 3.
Manoj.
Manoj. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Manoj. Do you want to give a little bit of history of your name, by the way? Or are you kind of like, yeah, groovy? Oh, booyah. Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Well, yeah. I guess the real question is, why did your parents pick that name for you? Is probably the better question to ask. Done dig. I done dig. Uh, gosh. Gosh, friends can be sometimes cruel, but you love them still. Oh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Ah. Oh, yeah, my full name is Robert RTeaH Morning. Um, oh, what do I do? Right now, so for the longest time, I was a student who was who was trying to educate myself. I eventually got tired of college and started trying to make my own films with my friends because, well, the way you become a better filmmaker is to make more films. And we started getting really successful. Um, However, I had a situation in my life where I felt like I needed to grow up a little bit and get a day job where I would work in a production factory. As officially as it is now, I am trying to transition myself out of the factory because something started snapping in me, making me realize one, I'm not a happy person working here. I'm not a happy person. And two, as a filmmaker, I feel like, why am I having to put off what I am for a job that, frankly, I'm scared I won't even have for 2 years? So, I'm starting to try thinking that through, and I'm trying to build myself up that way. And, the sooner you can get into this industry, the better, and the sooner you can start making money, the better as well. continue, man. That is true. India does not have, yeah, you're right. I dig that. I dig that, man. I dig that. So, out of curiosity, how interconnected is India? I dig you, bro. I'm kind of finding the same problem with me right now here in Cache Valley, where we're having a whole lot of Californians move to. I'm kind of curious here. What art styles are? Well, we'll look that up later, but we'll look that up on Saturday morning. But yeah, I'm kind of finding a similar problem happening right now with me and um Cache Valley here in Utah, where I'm noticing the identity of being a Cache Valleyan is it's starting to become kind of lost, and not really many people really they it feels like not many people appreciated the culture that is being lost here within Cache Valley. And now we're being kind of Californiized. And, I like that a little bit because it's a different perspective. But on the other hand, it kind of feels like I'm losing something that's precious to me. I dig there. I dig, yeah. Well, you're in the right place then, mate.